All right, if you're in high ticket sales, you know the importance of having the right framework. As a closer, especially, I hear a lot of sales calls where I can tell the sales rep is just following a fucking script. I don't care where you get that script from, it doesn't really matter. You need to have a mental model of how to go about a sales call. And then you can apply that mental model to any framework, any offer that you're on. Sure, the script can possibly help as a beginner. You know what questions to ask, so on and so forth. But eventually you're gonna get to a point you don't need a script. But you still need a mental model of how to take a prospect from a total stranger to a paying client. And that's what we're gonna get into here. Let's dive in. So the hotel corridor mental model. Now, this is a mental model I use to train all of our teams. We have two internal teams and an external team that we currently manage as well. So I believe in having like a visual representation of how the sales call or the meeting should go instead of some fucking arbitrary script, right? The hotel corridor model is more or less to avoid objections at the end of the call. All right. Instead of waiting until the end and battling it out with your customer or your prospect to make sure you get the sale, eliminating objections during the conversation, especially during the discovery part of the sales call or the sales meeting, is much, much, much more effective than waiting until the end of the conversation, again, to fight your prospects or do, weird objection handling techniques. Of course, there's a time and place for those as well, but majority of your calls, you shouldn't have to be doing that. It allows you to, this mental model, it's going to allow you to help the prospect make the decision without too much pressure towards the end of the call. All right. Instead of trying to hard close them and coming off desperate or anything like that. Okay. So the corridor, picture a long hotel corridor, and it doesn't matter what kind of hotel. Again, make it as luxurious as possible in your head. And now imagine there's doors on both sides of the corridor. And at the end of the corridor lies the close or the deal or whatever you want to call it. Your objective is going to be to walk the prospect down this corridor while opening every single door. All right. Now, let me break down what the doors are. The doors are basically obstacles. Obstacles are objections before they become objections. All right. Any objection you can bring up during the discovery part of your sales call hasn't actually become an objection yet. Okay. It is a mere obstacle you have to overcome right there and then. All right. Your goal is to help the prospect overcome that obstacle the moment they bring it up. And if they don't bring it up, you bring it up. And this is what the doors are, right? Again, keep a mental picture. You're the one opening the doors for the prospects, and they're the ones closing the doors. So once we get to the end of the corridor, there's nothing left except the deal. All right. The doors are basically us giving the prospects a way out of the corridor being the conversation, the sales call, or the sales meeting. We're trying to give them ways out, right? So the three most important ones are why now, why this, why us, right? We want to position these questions as to why they feel like working with us will get them XYZ result. Why not just continue doing what they've been doing for the past 6 months or 12 months instead of jumping on this call now, right? Like what shifted recently that makes them want to have this conversation now? And why this in comparison to the traditional approach or your competitor or whatever it might be. Like you have to give them ways out and have them justify to you why now is a good time to do this, why this is the right approach for them, why they want to work with you instead of someone else, so on and so forth, why they don't want to wait and talk to their wife about XYZ thing. Just give them ways out, open these doors for them, and they have to be the ones closing these doors. Our goal is to bring up any and all so-called objections we feel that might come up during the conversation and address them during the conversation instead of, again, waiting for something to come up towards the end of the call in the mere hopes that they don't say anything and they'll just lay down, right? Remember, as far as like percentages go, about 10% of prospects you get are going to be laydowns, right? Laydowns are people show up to the call with a credit card. Here, give me that one. You don't need a skill for that. All right. Then there's another 10% that jump on the call. They were never going to make a purchase anyways. All right. So don't spend too much time on those. Our focus is the 80%. All right. The 80% that you can help make a decision. That's what we're focused on. These obstacles, again, will be the door. Now, our goal is to open the doors, but it's very important. You cannot close them. The prospect has to be the one that closes them. All right. If you close them, you're sort of telling them why going with you is a good idea, why doing this now is a good idea, why not talking to your wife or business partner will be a good idea, or why this will be the better way in comparison to other approach. They have to tell you that, not you, or else this doesn't work, right? Um, they have to give you reasons why taking that quote unquote way out or using that objection slash obstacle doesn't make sense. You cannot justify this. This is very important. They have to. You bring up the objections, give them an opportunity to use that objection right there and then, and direct the conversation so they give you reasons why not using that objection or that door makes sense. And that's basically the mental model all of our closers have. The hotel corridor mental model, again, you have to visualize this. This isn't specific on questions. It's just a mental framework I want you guys to have. Make sure you open up all these doors for them, walk them down that corridor, and go get a deal at the end. All right, that's it for this one. Subscribe, like, share, all that good noise, comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.